buddy.
What's going on, bud?
What's up, man?
Dude, I love the attire there. Love it.
Polo, this embroidery is beautiful.
I like the hat too.
Hell yeah.
Nice. Everything turned out good?
Yes, it did.
Where'd you get this stuff from?
Backyardsportsmedia.shop.
Yeah, baby. Love it. Sporting the Tailgate Trash Talk tee right now.
The jumbo logo on the front.
Love it, bud. Love it. You look spiffy tonight. I like it.
I feel
professional.
Good. I feel good.
Well, if you feel good, you look good, we're going to podcast good.
Hell yeah. Absolutely.
All righty. Welcome to another episode of, breaking out the beer stein as well. The Tailgate Trash Talk beer stein.
Goddamn right.
Man, my man Gary over here just got his nice little bundle of merch that he ordered last week from backyardsportsmedia.shop, and he is repping from head
to toe, baby. Head to belly.
Welcome to another Tailgate Trash Talk episode 6, talking about college football week 9. Got my main man Gary. I'm Big Stove, and let's just cut to the chase. Last week, college football, again, does not disappoint. Had some upsets. Some upsets, top 25 upsets. Shaking the top 25 up left and right, week in and week out.
Yeah, man, there's not a break. Like you can't get into the top 25 and then rest on your laurels. It's been proven almost weekly. Like we gotta keep our head on a swivel if we're a top 25 team.
Exactly. You had last week, week 8, had some upsets. Not many head-to-head top 25 matchups, but still, nonetheless, it did not disappoint. And
we had a damn 9 overtime game.
A 9 overtime game. And we'll talk about that one. We'll talk about that one here. And then we'll preview a little week 9 action where we actually do have, I think, 3 games this week that are top 25 matchups. So looking forward to that. How's the beer stein, though? That's about the 4th time that you've gone to the lips with the beer stein, and it looks incredible.
It fits nicely. It's so snug.
The main question
tastes better out of a stein.
Okay. I was just gonna say, how's the taste?
The things taste better out of a stein.
I like it, man. Yep. I like it.
It's dual purpose too. What's beautiful about it, it's porcelain, so it's nice. Ooh. Like you get your bev on in the evening, and then you wake up and pour some coffee in. Pour some coffee,
and I like it.
Yep.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
Well, dual action, double threat, dual action, baby.
Absolutely. The Swiss Army knife, if you will.
There you go. There you go. The Tailgate Trash Talk Swiss Army knife. Oh, we got our week 8 recap. We got our week 9 preview. We got our salute to service. We got our Heisman Stock Report. We got our top plays, and then we'll finish it off with a little tailgating 101. Gary had a nice little suggestion for that this week, and we'll get to that here after a bit. So let's just cut to the chase. Let's go ahead and recap a little week 8 action here. Last Wednesday, a week ago today, our boys went down. They traveled to Boone, North Carolina, and they went down to Appalachian State, 30-27. Not a great night for our Shanties and our boy Grayson Mullet McColl and his Heisman hopes.
Yeah, that's a tough one, man. Like, App State's always dangerous, right? Ask Michigan when they were number 5 and went down, and heading to Boone. It's one of the tougher environments in terms of small schools. They come out in droves, and it's it's a tough environment there. And the Shanties looked a little flat. I was surprised how flat they looked. Maybe it was more of what App State was doing, but I just thought that's not the Shanties we've seen so far this season, and they paid the price.
Yep. Yeah, their potential college football playoff chances, their slim outside chance of it went down the drain with that game,
Yeah,
and
they were going to need a lot of help, but
they were.
yeah, I mean they can't lose a game and
Yeah,
expect to even be in the conversation. I think they would have gotten into maybe a New Year's Six bowl if they had run the table, but now that's out the window.
yeah, for sure, for sure. And you know what stat really surprised me when watching that game after we got done doing our podcast was that was the only the second game that Appalachian State has won against a top 25 opponent since the Michigan, or I'm sorry, so Michigan back in '07 was the first time that they won against top 25 opponent. And then last Wednesday was only the second game that they won.
Yeah,
It's
surprising,
amazing. Yeah,
surprising
real
because you
surprising.
think about App State as kind of the giant killer, and they have beaten Power Five schools, but clearly they weren't ranked at the time. But yeah, I think beating number 5 sticks out in everybody's head too, right? That's a big deal.
Yeah,
That's a
yeah.
big deal.
And I think that, I mean, obviously that's what put Appalachian State on the map after that '07 victory against Michigan. And it just, like you just said, they beat some Power Five opponents. And so maybe we just didn't think too much about, top 25 opponents, but
Right.
that was a real interesting stat that,
Yeah, surprising.
yeah. So, all right, moving on. Thursday, SMU Tulane. This was really no contest there. Then moving on to Saturday, A&M over South Carolina. Really not a ball game there. We picked that one. Beamer ball, just first year at South Carolina, so it's gonna be a rough go of it. Got to get his own recruits in there, but A&M handled the business that they needed to. So moving on to Cincy and Navy, and this was one where, almost tripped Cincinnati up here. Almost tripped him up.
Yeah, we talked about the triple option being tough to defend. Hey, Dad. Um, you know, I still expected Cincy to roll on that defense though.
Yeah.
And it wasn't so much like Navy. A lot of times they'll play ball control and keep it away, and you look back at the end of the game and you're like, shit, we only had 4 possessions because Navy ate up fucking 40 minutes of TOP because of that ground and pound attack. But it wasn't that, right? Navy didn't really dominate time of possession. They didn't have a lot of long sustained drives like they usually do. Cincy really just struggled against that defense. And credit to them, they got the win, and credit to the voters that they didn't drop out of number 2. I sort of expected Oklahoma to leapfrog them this week.
I think though, with Oklahoma's game that they had against Kansas,
I think so
that
too.
helps Cincy there. But with all that being said, next Tuesday is when the
Really find out.
CFP rankings come out, and maybe next Monday. We haven't decided yet what we're gonna do, but our rankings will be coming out next week as well. But this was a game where we've been saying ever since the Notre Dame game, ever since they took care of Notre Dame, we've been saying that Cincy needs to win, and they need to win in style. They need them style points. This definitely was not one of those games for Cincy. And for Desmond Ridder as well, for a Heisman hopeful, you gotta take care of business here, And this was one of those games where, he needed to perform better, make his team perform better here. And, he didn't, and it may show in the Heisman race.
Yeah, I think this is a game that can really trip up somebody that I I thought was catching some steam too, even nationally, right? We've talked about him quite a bit on this show. The big dick energy he had against Notre Dame. This really detracts from that, really takes a lot of that steam out. Unfortunately, and the voters are going to remember this game, one, for recency bias, right? They've only got, I think, 3 more regular season games, or maybe 4, but I believe it's 3 regular season games left, to make an impression and win with style, like we talked about. But I think this game is likely to stick in the heads of voters, and it might even stick in the minds of the CFP committee.
Yep.
Some of that shine from the Notre Dame win and the couple blowout wins they've had since probably lost some of its luster. With a game that they really sort of escaped, right, with a win against Navy. Annapolis is a tough environment. I'll give them that. And Navy's a tough team to defend, but I thought that offense should have done a lot more against that Navy defense.
Yeah, totally agree. Totally agree with you there. Moving on, we had Oklahoma, Kansas, and this was Oklahoma, I think, was favored by 35 points. And
crazy.
Oklahoma literally came out sleeping.
Yes.
It was 11 o'clock kickoff time for them in Lawrence. Rainy, cold, and it was 10-0 at halftime, I believe, wasn't it, Kansas?
Yeah.
And the Oklahoma offense didn't have anything going. Caleb Williams there really didn't have anything going. Defensively for Oklahoma, they didn't have anything going. Their KU's defensive line was getting some pressure early on.
Dominating the first
actually, you know what? Not early on. I mean, throughout the whole game, actually.
Yeah.
Now that I think about it, but give Oklahoma and Lincoln Riley there some credit. They made some adjustments at halftime, and then after halftime, then it was kind of okay. Turn on the. They woke up, they woke up from their alarm from hitting the snooze button for 2 hours, and came out to play. And a heads up play by Caleb Williams there on a fourth down ultimately won the ball game for him.
Yeah, that definitely sealed the ball game. That took a possession away from Kansas and really gave them some momentum to really squash that game. They're living dangerously though, right? Mm-hmm. Like they can't keep doing this all year and expect to just be able to come back. So I think they're going to have to figure out whatever it is that they get off the bus flat. It was Rattler for a while because he's just not good. But the jolt of energy that Caleb Williams gave them wasn't there in the first half this week. And as you said, credit to them. Adjustments at halftime, came out like gangbusters in the second half, put up 35 points, held Kansas to 13. Had that heads up play on a fourth down to snatch the ball from his teammate to get a first down. I was surprised on that play too that they didn't call progress dead. They're very fortunate that they did. Yep. Very heads up play, but they are also fortunate that the refs didn't blow that dead. Exactly. They very well could have called because he was being pushed backwards. But again, hats off. Hell of a heads up play by a freshman too.
Sure.
And by the running back to give that ball up, understanding who it is that's trying to get it. So that's a big play, and that might be a playoff saving play for them.
Sure.
If they can get things fixed, they've got a couple of opponents left that are going to give them.
They still have Iowa State.
They still have Iowa State. They still got Oklahoma
State. I believe so. Yeah.
And then whoever they end up playing in the Big 12 championship game. So it's not a paved road for them yet the rest of the way. So they're gonna have to start games better, I think, down the stretch, because one of these, Iowa State or Oklahoma State, I don't think they're gonna be able to do that against them and expect to just come back and win.
Yeah, totally agree. Totally agree there. All right, then you got Northwestern and Michigan. Michigan took care of business there. Then it was one of our picks for last week, UTSA over Louisiana Tech. UTSA was first week being ranked in school history. Yeah. I actually picked Louisiana Tech on this one just because of the 1 week, one and done type things. But you picked UTSA, and they showed out. Won by 29 points there, 45-16. So
yeah, it's a big win. I didn't expect them to roll like that. La Tech is not a terrible team in that conference anyway. But yeah, UTSA they ran with that ranking, and they get to live another week in the top 25.
Yep.
So they've now doubled the number of weeks they've been ranked in school history.
Exactly. Moving on, number 5, Ohio State took care of Indiana 54-7. Not much of a game here, and I believe this is the third game in a row that Ohio State has scored over 50 points. So they're starting to roll here. They're starting to roll. So then one of our other picks, USC Notre Dame at Notre Dame 31-16. And this was, I think we both picked Notre Dame here. Really wasn't much of a contest. I think it ended up being a little bit closer, than the score.
USC's in a bad way right now.
Yeah.
They need it. They need a coach. They need a rudder. They need to make a good hire this time. The last couple of coaches they've hired, it's just been the Clay Helton hire too. I just didn't understand that one even. Going that far back, and it's time for them to really go out and spend some fucking money. Get them boosters right, whatever size blank check Mike Tomlin needs, right? Nah, he ain't going anywhere. But they need to go get the right guy, right? Is it
James Franklin?
Is it James Franklin?
Yeah.
Herb? Is Herb going to leave the pro game and go back to USC? They gotta hire the right guy to get this fucking program turned around, because that's a proud collegiate football program with Hall of Famers in the NFL that is just scuffling.
Yeah, they're hurting in a bad way.
Yeah, Aaron points out the Vegas thing, like that. Yeah, if you're betting, follow UTSA, man. You'd have made a lot of money on them this year.
Yeah. Moving on, NC State, Miami. My Wolfpack lost by 1. I think you actually picked Miami in this one. Man, close game there in Miami. Give them credit. They've won a couple here and kind of starting to get back on track a little bit. So they may put up a fight here in the ACC.
Yeah, I think they're starting to figure out how to be the team we thought they were going to be to start the season. That loss against Michigan State really kind of sent them into a bit of a tailspin.
Yeah,
Michigan State beat them up, bullied them, and
bullied them up front.
I think that sent them into a little bit of a tailspin. But we've seen the last couple of weeks here, Miami starting to pick some momentum back up, and that was really them being at home, and the fact that they've been playing better ball lately was really the deciding factor for me to go with Miami. But if NC State had won, I wouldn't have been surprised. It was a tight game, and obviously the scoreboard, played that out.
Yeah, and they're doing it with a backup quarterback too. Ever since Derek King went down.
Yep.
So Illinois, Penn State, number 7 Penn State, coming off a bye week after that disappointing loss to Iowa at Iowa, back home, facing Illinois, a team that really has no number 1s, no number 2s. According to their coach Brett Bielema. And Illinois takes the dub 20-18 in 9 overtimes. Gary, this was one that you and I were going back and forth in our group chat.
Oh my God.
And the overtime
I fucking hate it. Oh.
And to be honest with you, there haven't been too many 2-3 overtime games this year. And so I did not know the full extent of the rule change until this game. I knew you had to go for 2 starting after the second overtime. I did not know
that it was only 2 points.
That was only 2 points. That you weren't starting from
the 25. They did not
25.
really make that clear when they announced the rule change this offseason. They did not make that clear.
No, definitely not. And so 9 overtimes, and the score is still 20-18.
Yes.
9
Yes.
overtimes, still 20-18. There were a lot. Aaron, yeah, thanks, bud.
Oh,
Yeah, appreciate that.
wow. Pick the fucking scab?
Appreciate that one,
Wow.
Aaron. Yep.
That's a
Yep.
jerk move, buddy.
But in this overtime game, uh it wasn't even an offensive battle. It was a poor offensive showing on
Yeah.
both teams, because both teams had numerous opportunities to win here and drop balls, miss passes. The trickery on both sides was there. They just
Yeah.
didn't
Didn't
convert,
execute.
didn't convert. And in the end, Illinois upset the number 7 team.
Yeah, those overtime rules are so stupid. I to kind of add to the point of, like, they didn't make it very clear this offseason. Like, I had several people ask me, like, what the fuck, when I posted. Somebody literally posted on my post on Facebook of, like, I was bitching about the game.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody was like, how the fuck do you only score 2 points in overtime? And I'm like, well, they're going for 2, literally going for 2. It's such a shitty rule. I didn't like it this offseason, but I didn't really think too much of it when they made the change.
Yeah.
But man, this game proved that that's not the answer. Like, that's not the answer at all. Put them back to the fucking 20, 4 downs. Let's play this thing like fucking football. That's a terrible rule.
Well, and even you do just the 2-point conversion after the second overtime, but then you're also still switching ends of the field.
Way the other end of the field.
Like, come on. Yeah, like,
just
figure
stay
that
on one end.
Yeah, I mean, I get, you might have the band or something in one end of the end zone. You have more, it's more louder, whatnot, if you're the home team, so you want your opponent to be right there, but figure it out.
Yeah.
So
I didn't like it. In seeing it play out, it's miserable.
Yeah,
the announcers, I could tell, were just like, "Oh my god, here
are you serious
again?" Yeah. And I had the same thought watching the shit. So not good. I hope they revisit it this offseason and let's go back to the old. I always thought college football's overtime rules were great. I didn't think it needed to change. I don't know what they did it for. They claim it's for like safety and stuff. I'm good, man. I'm good.
Yeah.
Let's get it back to the 20. Let's play some fucking football.
Yeah. And any chances of Penn State making the CFP were just dashed right there with that loss to Illinois. Yeah. So moving on, Wake Forest 70, Army 56. Holy shootout. This was
a game. Buck 25.
This was a game of, if you blinked, you missed 2 touchdowns.
Yes.
Like, I think I was just watching SportsCenter or something, or a halftime of one of the games, and they were showing highlights from this game. I'm like, okay, it's just a highlight. No, that was literally just that last play. Like, they're still going. I'm like, oh wow,
crazy,
man. No defense whatsoever showed up in this game.
No,
this was
an all-out
fucking
bus.
Yeah.
This was fucking shadow defense.
This was one of the
20 points. Oh my god.
Yeah. Wake Forest.
I bet you it was a hell of a watch though in person.
Oh, sure.
Especially touchdown.
Definitely got your money's worth there.
No
Wake Forest.
Breaks.
Yeah. Wake Forest stays undefeated, I believe, with that victory, and undefeated in ACC play. So good for them. Wisconsin 30. Purdue, after the upset win over number 2 Iowa, goes down. And this was a game, I think we both picked Wisconsin here. So I think we both just kind of liked the fact that Purdue basically left it all on the table against Iowa. They didn't have any of that Boilermaker speed left in the tank. And Wisconsin has been known for their run game. their physicality up front and everything like that. And I think it showed in this one.
Oh yeah, for sure. This Wisconsin being Wisconsin and Purdue showing that they sometimes you got to fill out a top 25, right? And sometimes teams get in that shouldn't be in, and Purdue was one of those teams that, coming off a big win over number 2, you kind of had to think they were going to sneak into the top 25. But yeah, short-lived.
Yep.
Wisconsin did what they do. They ran the ball hard, really beat up Purdue, and yeah, that's all she wrote.
Yep. LSU. Oh, I'm sorry. Oklahoma State, Iowa State. You picked Iowa State. Iowa State was a favorite by, I think, a tutty or maybe 3. I can't remember.
It was a big number.
It was okay. So it was 7 then.
I think it was 7 or 7.5. Yeah.
Okay. And against my boys, Oklahoma State, my boy Gundy down there. You picked Iowa State. I picked Oklahoma State, and I came out on the loser end. Shocker there. But this was a good game. This was a good game. Had some great plays by both teams down the stretch.
Oh, yeah.
And I think Oklahoma State got shafted there at the end with that spot call on 4th down. I really did. And they were even going to replay on it here, and it just, they didn't do it. And so I don't know.
Yeah, Josh, that the taunting stuff.
That was
taunting is ridiculous.
Yes,
right. Like, if you don't want him to wave goodbye to you, fucking tackle the guy. Right, that's my stance. Like, it's the same thing in baseball, right? If you don't want a guy to fucking pimp on a home run or whatever you want to call it, swag, fucking show off on a home run, don't fucking let him hit the ball, right? Strike the guy out or something. Tackle the guy, stop him. I hate taunting, and I get it. They're college players. They're amateur, quote-unquote, athletes. But fuck off. That one was terrible.
That was terrible.
Like, taunting's stupid altogether, but that one was terrible.
No one knew what he did. All he did was look back.
Yep.
And he literally looked back just to
make sure he was clear.
Exactly. Just to see how close the defender was. He didn't do anything else. And Josh Freed, you are correct. It was the Iowa State Oklahoma State game, and it got called back for taunting. And
that's so atrocious.
That was probably one of the worst calls all college football so far this year. I mean, it ranks up there in top 5 for sure. And I'm going to say on my list, the worst call so far.
It's gotta be. Like, that's just so bad. And we bitch about the targeting stuff, and that can be a little bang bang. But this was what did he see that made him think that was taunting? Like,
exactly.
He didn't look back and wave. He didn't look back, give him the finger, shit like that. Like, that was frustrating.
Yeah,
that was frustrating.
Very much so. And I mean, even the announcers were like, whoa, what's going on here? Like, they didn't know what was going on. And they're like, are you serious right now? Like,
unreal.
Everything that I've heard so far from that game and after it has been that was one of the worst calls that they've seen. There was no need for that flag to be thrown. It should not have been called a penalty. And so we'll leave it at that. They know our feelings on it right now. So Oklahoma State goes down to Iowa State, unfortunately. So they are now a 1-loss team. Oh. LSU, Ole Miss. Ole Miss 31, LSU 17. This was one that we both picked Ole Miss here. Really, for us, it really wasn't much of a game. We both picked Ole Miss, Matt Corral, to kind of have a bounce back game, keep on moving forward with the progression that he has ever since that loss to Bama. So,
yeah, I think LSU. I think even the players are just ready for the season.
They're ready for the season to be over. Yeah, they're ready to see.
I'm surprised. I'm surprised Coach O is keeping his job the rest of the way. Like, it's hard with a lame duck coach, but Yeah, I just think everybody there is just ready for the season to be
Yeah,
over.
agree. Clemson, Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh 27, Clemson 17. Down go the Tigers again.
Yeah.
And Pittsburgh and one of our Heisman favorites that made the Heisman Stock Report for past 2 weeks, Mr. Kenny Pickett, goes on and gets the dub there and has one of the best quotes of college football. And we'll get to that later. But when I say one of the best quotes of college football, like it was an epitome of a college football player, just a
Yeah.
college student in general.
Yeah.
And to say it on while he's being interviewed
National
on national
TV.
TV after the W was priceless. Absolutely
Absolutely.
priceless.
Absolutely. This is a big win for them. This could have been
Yeah.
a stumbling block too, right? We talked about Clemson's defense still has a lot of talent. Um, Kenny was capable in this game and showed it that he's gaining that momentum in the Heisman race for a reason. Not only that though, his NFL stock is starting to really shoot up. Big guy, pretty strong arm, maybe not the strongest arm in the college game, but pretty strong arm, throws a really
Decision
catchable
making.
ball, and great decision maker for
Yeah.
sure.
So I read something yesterday. Past 2 years, he's thrown for almost, I think, just over 20 interceptions. This year alone, one.
Yeah.
So that he's a super senior, 6-year senior. So that decision to come back is paying dividends for him.
Yep.
Dividends upon dividends, and his NFL draft stock has just skyrocketed this year. So good for him for coming back for a super senior season and really putting grinding it out, and it's showing off and it's paying dividends for him, and it's going to show come April.
Yeah, for sure.
Oregon, UCLA, Oregon 34, UCLA 31. This was a close game. Did you pick UCLA on this one?
I did.
Okay. I picked the Ducks
Yep.
here. A lot closer than I thought. You said it was going to be a close game. And for a while there, Oregon did have it in double digits, and then UCLA made a comeback there at the end, but to only lose by 3. But I think actually Vegas had UCLA as a favorite. Yeah,
it was like 2 or 3 points.
Yeah, it was very minimal. It was a 1-score ball game there, but yeah, Oregon gets the job done. But a lot closer ball game than I anticipated.
Yeah, that's a good win for them too. I think nationally everybody understands that Chip's got UCLA heading in the right direction. But for Oregon to make their case as a one-loss team, to even have a chance to sniff the playoff, they need big wins, but they do need to take care of business against these Pac-12 opponents, and they're going to need a lot of help. But
sure,
yeah, that's a good win for them though.
Yes, it is. Tennessee, Alabama. Not really much of a contest here. Alabama taking care of business 52-24. We both picked that game. Really not much of a contest at all. And then to round off the final top 25, San Diego State versus Air Force. This was a closer game than anticipated. I picked Air Force here. You went with San Diego State. You came out victorious on this one. But San Diego State 20, Air Force 14.
Yeah. Rivals, right? I mean, these two teams know each other really well. Air Force runs that that their variation of the triple option. It's not the same triple option that like Navy and Army run. They run a very traditional triple option. Air Force is a little different with some different looks out of it. So it's tough to defend still. Those Mountain West opponents have a lot of trouble with it. But yeah, San Diego State. I figured it was going to be a tight game, and we talked a little bit about that last week, and it just San Diego State I think has a little more talent on that team, and I think that's what shined through for them in a tight game.
Sure. All righty. That wraps up our top 25 week 8 recap. We'll take a quick 45-second break hear from one of our sponsors, and we'll be back with a preview of week 9. This break is brought to you by PocketPairClub.com. Pocket Pair Club, club number 26881. All right, we're back here at Tailgate Trash Talk episode 6, and that little commercial break was brought to you by PocketPairClub.com. Pocket Pair Club, club number 26881. All right, we did week 8 recap. Let's get right into week 9 and our picks for this week. Starting off tomorrow, our boys, the Shanties, are back in action. They take on Troy. This one is, I believe, alumni weekend for Coastal Carolina. They are favored by 18. I'm going Shanties.
Yeah, they should get back on track here and take care of business against Troy.
Moving on. Number 2, Cincinnati. Facing Tulane at Tulane. Cincinnati is a 24.5 point favorite. Does Cincinnati wake up and beat the Tulane Green Wave?
I think so. I think this is a week they get some of those style points. 24.5 is
yeah.
I think that's low. I think they roll pretty good. Give me 50 to 17.
Ooh, all right. There you have it. 50 to 17 by Mr. Gary. Moving on, Michigan State, one of the games that everyone is talking about this week, and we are, we're on the same train here. Michigan State, 2 undefeated teams in the Big Ten East Division. This has Big Ten championship game implications and CFP implications.
Oh, yeah.
Right here at Michigan State. Michigan is 4.5 point favorite. Gary, who you got?
Man, this one chewed me up because I like what Michigan State is doing. I like that ground attack. I really like what Walker brings to the table. I think he's a pretty complete back. I've said that in the past. I think his NFL prospects are really high as well. But I think the difference for me is that Michigan is playing a bit more complementary football right now. This is a different team than we've seen from Harbaugh in the past with Michigan. So I'm going Michigan on this, and I think the difference for me is that the offense and the defense are pretty well in sync. Michigan State, I think, leans pretty heavily on ball control, running the ball. If that Michigan offense gets out on them a little early, they could really struggle to keep pace, and I think that could be a big difference for Michigan. So give me Michigan, maybe by 6.
All right. Gary's taking Michigan. I'm just going to go opposite, and I'm going to take Michigan State because you want to know why? I don't like Jim Harbaugh.
I'm aware.
Yes. So Sparty is going to slay the Wolverine here.
All right. Hey, look, I like what Michigan State's doing, man. I
Okay.
like what Michigan State's doing. So I, if I'm wrong on this one, I won't be disappointed.
Right.
Because, like I said,
Yeah.
I dig it. Michigan State covers, so Aaron's got it. Aaron's got a field goal game, huh?
Yep.
Okay.
All right, Aaron. All right.
All right.
Moving on. Iowa, Wisconsin. Iowa coming back from a bye week, traveling to Wisconsin. Wisconsin just getting that win over Purdue, and Wisconsin's favored
Mm-hmm.
by a field goal.
Mm-hmm.
Who you got?
I got the favorite.
You got the favorite. I like it.
I think
I'm with you on this one.
Iowa. Yeah, I think Iowa coming off that loss, we could see a little bit from them what we saw from Penn State against Illinois this week or last week. And I think Wisconsin is starting to, just like Miami, I think Wisconsin is starting to round into form and be what we expect from Wisconsin. They're playing a bit of bully ball in the trenches, running the ball much better than we saw them run the ball, especially against Notre Dame earlier in the year. So give me the Badges by a field goal. I think it'd be a tight game.
I like it. I'm with you. I'm with you with the Badgers. I'm gonna say 8.
Okay.
I'm going 8.
Still one score.
Yeah. Yep.
Comfortable though.
Sure. Texas going to Baylor. Baylor, another field goal favorite. I'm going to go ahead and take the lead on this one.
Yeah.
I'm going to say Texas.
Okay.
I'm saying Texas with this one. Texas trying to get back on track here.
Yeah.
Baylor. Yep. I'm not going to waffle.
I like it.
I'm going Texas.
Stick to your conviction.
Unfortunately, gotta give a little love to Raul and the Longhorns. I'm not going to be disappointed though if Baylor wins. I like what they're doing there.
Yeah.
But I'm going to go Texas with this one.
Yeah, I think I'm with you. I'm with you. I expect Texas to get back to what had them successful early in the season. Bijan Robinson, I think, is going to get a healthy dose this week.
Yep.
So give me Bijan making a difference there for Texas, beating up on Baylor a little bit.
I'm actually going to go a 2 score.
Yeah, I think double digit. I was going to say
thinking
10.
13. I was going to go 13.
Yeah, I think I'm in the 10 range, but 13's not too far out of that. So yeah, I'm with you. I think Texas and Baylor, I do like what they're doing, but I still think there's a little bit of fool's gold there.
Mm-hmm.
Right now. I just think that they're kind of in that in between right now where they can be a dangerous team, but they also can be a team that's a little overranked from where they should be.
Yeah, I agree. And let's face it, the Big 12 just, besides Oklahoma and really Oklahoma,
even Oklahoma,
they have
a lot of ways.
In a lot of ways, yeah. They're undefeated. I get it. They're 8-0.
Yeah.
Oklahoma,
it's a dicey 8-0.
Yes, yeah. Nonetheless, they're still 8-0. But yeah, Big 12 this year just hasn't been. Iowa State's been down. They were supposed to be.
I think that really hurt the Big 12. Yeah. Iowa State being down, losing a couple of games early in the season, really took some steam out of, or took some shine off the Big 12.
Yeah, and I also think Texas losing to Arkansas the way they did too, early on in the season, and then they come back the next week.
You sure you want to go to the SEC?
Yeah. Right. That next week after Arkansas, they lay 70 on Tech. And Tech at the time was, I think, 3-0, 4-0. But so
yeah, they've been up and down, but
yeah,
give me Texas ground and pound this week.
Yep.
Take the wind out of Baylor sails.
Let's do it. Miami, Pittsburgh. Miami traveling to Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh is 9-point favorite. 9-point favorite. I'm not gonna sway from my Heisman Stock Report guy, Kenny Pickett. So I'm going Pittsburgh on this one.
Yeah, I picked the Miami upset last week. I'm not going to do it again this week. Give me Pittsburgh. I think they win pretty comfortably. I think they've got momentum right now, and that offense is doing good things. The defense is playing some good complementary football. Comfortably 10, maybe 13, maybe 14 points. Pitt over Miami. That
All
nine number's pretty good.
Yeah, I agree. Iowa State, West Virginia. Iowa State traveling to West Virginia, and Iowa State is a 7-point favorite. Oh, I'm going Iowa State on this one. I think they're kind of starting to get in that right direction going forward here. They can't have a hiccup game anymore. So I'm going Iowa State.
Yeah. Give me Iowa State, and I think they roll a little bit. I think 7's a little light for this one. Give me 3 scores. Give me 17.
Dang, like it.
Yeah.
Like it. All right. Georgia, Florida. Georgia going to Florida, but going to Jacksonville.
Yeah. Neutral site.
Neutral
You love
site.
those neutral site games, right?
Yeah, fucking hate them. Just throw that out there. I fucking hate them. Absolutely hate them. The only time I like them, bowl games,
Yeah.
conference championships. It's the only time I like them.
Yep.
It's
all about the money, baby.
It is. It is. This one, Dan Mullen needs a victory. And
Yes,
when I say needs a victory, like he's on a hot, I think his seat is getting warm,
white hot.
And if he loses this one, it's getting hotter.
Mm-hmm.
And the schedule for him doesn't get that much easier. I mean, he's got to win 2 more games to be bowl eligible here.
Yeah. Would you have thought that about Florida 5 weeks ago?
Sitting at 4-3 right now? No.
I mean,
no.
Needing 2 wins in their last few games to get into a bowl, like, ooh. As tough as they played Alabama.
Exactly.
You wouldn't have thought there was a chance in hell they'd be scratching and fighting to get into a
they should be a 1-loss team right now, and that should be to Alabama. But you know what? They're going to be a 4-loss team after this weekend.
Yeah.
And what are they favored?
14, I think.
Only 14?
Yeah.
Ooh. Yeah. Ooh, no. That's going to be a 4-score game.
Yeah.
I'm
going big, rolling big.
I got him going big. Here. So, Georgia.
I almost, for about 30 seconds, convinced myself to get really fucking cute with this game. And then I talked myself into some fucking, sense. I talked some sense into myself.
Common sense into yourself?
Yeah, I thought for a minit, Dan Mullen, this could be one of those save a coach's job games, blah, 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 blah. But no. Georgia's going to roll. Give me fucking 38-3 or something like that. Big 4 scores, 5 scores. Yeah, they're gonna roll big.
I won't be disappointed though if Florida does pull the upset, because that's just going to throw college football into a frenzy.
Chaos, bro.
And I'm going to love every minute of it. So we are definitely not going to be disappointed if Florida pulls off the upset here.
Me as the neutral bystander, yes.
If I were a betting man, which I am, I'm going Georgia.
Yes. My money will be on the dogs by a lot.
Yes. All right. Texas Tech, Oklahoma. Texas Tech just fired their coach. You're stupid for doing that for a 5-3 record.
I know.
You actually had a chance.
Texas Tech to be like top 5 or something this year. Like
there has to be some underlying issues. Something happened. Yeah, that we haven't heard about yet. But you actually had a chance. Like everyone has had a chance at beating Oklahoma this year. Everyone. And you fired your coach the week
of Oklahoma.
The week of Oklahoma. I'm going Texas Tech.
Are you?
I'm going Texas Tech. They're going to play for
the interim coach.
They're going to get them going. Caleb Williams is still going to have a decent game. He's not going to be flashy like he has been the first 2 games that he's played and started. Texas Tech.
this is a game that Oklahoma has to roll,
Yes.
right? Like this is a game you should roll. This is a game you should get the offense going. Texas Tech, they always play shootouts. That's their fucking style. If you can't really get going early against Texas Tech, Oklahoma's in fucking trouble. But I'm
Don't
gonna
do it.
pick.
Don't do it. Don't
I'm
do it.
going
Don't do it. Let's
to.
talk some sense into you here.
I know. I'm gonna pick Oklahoma.
All right.
As much as I legitimately have like this really nasty hatred of Oklahoma, and I'm not even a Texas fan, but like I've always just I can't stand Oklahoma. I don't know what it is about them.
Yeah. I'm right there with you.
I'm surprised I even like Baker Mayfield, to fucking be honest with you. But like I do like the guy, but I hate Oklahoma. I can't explain it. I just do. Ohio State's another one. I fucking despise Ohio State.
Yeah.
I'm not a Michigan fan, so give me Oklahoma reluctantly. As much as I just want to pick Texas Tech just because. High scoring game, probably both teams in the 40s, maybe even in the 50s. We might see a Hundy piece this weekend. Give me Oklahoma by a score though.
Okay. All right. Sounds good. Colorado, Oregon. I'm going Oregon on this one. Oregon's
They should roll.
24-point favorite. Yeah, they should roll over them Buffaloes. Duke travels to Wake Forest. Wake Forest, 14.5 point.
Yeah.
Yeah. This shouldn't be a contest either.
Yeah. This isn't the dangerous Duke teams that we've come to know from the last decade or so. Wake Forest should hang a big number on them.
Yep. Ole Miss Auburn. Ole Miss Auburn. This is another one of our picks. Auburn is favored by another field goal. That's 3 so far. That's 3 field goal games.
Yeah.
I can't do it. I can't do
it.
Nope. I can't go with Bo Nix. I'm going Matty Corral, the Baby Blues, and Lane Kiffin.
Yeah, I'm with you. Ole Miss is gonna win. I sort of get why Vegas put the number where they put it. Often a lot of times, like those not familiar with how betting, how lines work and stuff like that, think that like Vegas is out here picking Auburn to win the game. They set the line where they know they're going to be able to make money, right? So I can kind of understand why, because Auburn's at home. I think Auburn's gaining some momentum right now with Bo Nix. I think Auburn's very popular with the national public. Ole Miss is still kind of one of those teams that's maybe a secondary thought. But give me Ole Miss. Give me Ole Miss in the quote unquote upset, despite being ranked higher than Auburn. But 3-point dogs. Give me Ole Miss, and I think they might be a little comfortable in this. Maybe 10, 12 points, a couple scores.
I like it. Yeah, I'm right there with you. So, Kentucky, Mississippi State. Kentucky, 1.5 point favorite here. Oh, nah, I'm not falling for it. Not falling for it. I'm going Kentucky, and I'm going by 10. Let's hear it.
I have a soft spot for Kentucky.
I know you do.
This feels like one of those games.
Those trip-up games.
Yes.
Yeah, it does. It does.
I'm going to pick Mississippi State. They're home.
Wow.
I know. If I was picking with my heart, I'd be picking the Wildcats. But give me the Bulldogs. I think at home, I think they're going to be able to give some fits to that Kentucky offense by maybe a field goal. Tight game. Mississippi State comes out on top, though. It hurts me to say that.
Yeah. All right. Fine. Be that way. All right. Kansas, Oklahoma State. Kansas has been playing better, but Oklahoma State coming off that devastating loss to Iowa State. I'm going Okie State at home. They are 30.5 point favorites.
Big ass number.
I don't know about that one. I'm going to say take the. Don't
Take the
take that.
points.
Eh.
You take the points with Kansas.
Yeah. Take the
Yeah,
points with Kansas on that one. But I'm picking Okie State.
yeah. Give me Okie State by 3 scores, not 5.
Yeah. Number 19, SMU going to Houston, 7-0 versus 6-1. Houston, a
Yeah,
1-point favorite.
yeah.
Wow, no respect. SMU. SMU's going down to Houston. They're going to win by double digits.
Woohoo! I like it. You got Smooth by double.
Yes.
I like it. I like it.
Vegas has got nothing on me.
I'm going the other way on this one too. Give me Houston knocking off number 19 Smooth by maybe a field goal. That line feels about right. It's a tight game.
Whatever.
Number I 20. Might be eating a lot of crow next week.
If history proves anything, that I will be so. Penn State, number 20, travels to number 5, Ohio State. Ohio State, 16.5-point favorites here. Penn State coming off 2 straight losses. Ohio State has been playing very good ball lately. And I hate to say it. I hate to say this, Ohio State, and I think they're going to cover.
You might be right, man. The way they've been fucking scoring lately.
I think they're going to cover here. And and here's why too. If you heard any of James Franklin's interviews lately so far this week, his mind is not in this game.
Right.
He kept on saying that, they're preparing for Illinois. They're preparing for our focus is on Illinois. You just played Illinois. You have Ohio State this week.
His heart's in Southern California right now.
It's either there or it's down in Baton Rouge.
Or Baton Rouge, yeah.
One of the two. So
his heart is not in Happy Valley right
now. Nope. So give me Ohio State. Give me the points. They're covering.
Yeah, give me Ohio State to cover too. They're gonna roll. This is another one. I had a fleeting moment of maybe I'll get cute on this one, but no. Give me Ohio State by a ton.
Like it. North Carolina travels to Notre Dame.
Yeah.
The once Heisman favorite of North Carolina. Notre Dame boy. Well, Sammy North Carolina's been down this year, 4-3. Notre Dame's 6-1. Notre Dame's favored by 3.5. I'm going North Carolina.
Ooh, that's spicy.
I'm going North Carolina on this one. I know North Carolina's been down this year.
That's spicy, bro. All right.
Notre Dame just hasn't really impressed me though this year. I mean, they've won some ball games, but they've been close ball games. They lost to Cincinnati. Cincinnati has Desmond Ridder. He took over that game. Notre Dame's just not doing it for me. Yes, their defense is solid. That offense, though, they can't take care of the ball. They can't drive. If they start driving, they turn the ball over. So I'm going North Carolina on this one.
God,
in Notre Dame,
in South Bend. I like it. I love that. I wish I had a jalapeno too, but I don't. Give me Notre Dame only because they're at home though. If this game was in Chapel Hill, I think I'm with you on North Carolina, but because this game's being played in Indiana, I am. I'm gonna go Notre Dame, tight game, maybe by a field goal. But yeah, I love that take.
Wish we could be on the same island, but
I know, buddy. I know.
Virginia, BYU. Virginia travels to number 25, BYU. BYU 2.5-point favorite. Give me a coin here. Give me a coin, and heads Virginia, tails BYU. I have no idea on this one. I really don't. I don't care that BYU's ranked 25. They've lost a couple games that, really
Yeah.
one of them, they shouldn't have lost. They really shouldn't have. I'll go
Do it.
BYU. I'll go BYU on this one.
Oh.
Nah, yeah. I mean, it's a coin flip for me.
Yeah.
It really is. But I'll go BYU just because.
Yeah. I flipped my coin. It came up heads.
Okay.
I'll
Yeah.
take Virginia, but yeah, this one's it's 6 of one, half a dozen the other.
Yep. Agreed. Last game of the night at 10:30. We love those late games.
Yes, we do.
Fresno State 6-2 travels to San Diego State, undefeated at 7-0. San Diego State 1-point favorite. A once Heisman hopeful.
Yeah.
In the Tailgate Trash Talk Heisman Stock Report, Jake Haener. I think he gets back on track here, and Fresno State takes down San Diego State.
Yep. I'm with you. Jake Haener's going to get off against San Diego State. Yes. Yeah, we're on the same page on this one. Fresno State knocking off the Aztecs.
I like it.
Absolutely.
All righty. There are your picks for the week from the Tailgate Trash Talk boys. Our picks for this week: Michigan, Michigan State, Iowa, Wisconsin, Texas, Baylor, Ole Miss, Auburn, and rounding it out, Penn State, Ohio State. We'll take a quick 30-second break from one of our sponsors at Excel Construction. And once we get back, we will do one of the most important segments in all of podcast history, our salute to service. Thank you for our sponsor, Excel Constructions, out of Overland Park, Kansas, Mr. Ryan Trotnick with Excel Construction. All right, we are back, and thank you again to Excel Constructors, Ryan Trotnick, out of Overland Park, Kansas, for all your construction needs. As we transition to one of the most important segments of all of podcast history, our salute to service, where we honor the men and women who have sacrificed their lives before us. We'd like to thank our sponsor for this segment, Folds of Honor, www.foldsofonor.org. It is the Folds of Honor salute to service.
All right, so this week's episode goes to Army Specialist Vincent Sebastian Ibarria. He died the day before Independence Day in 2020, serving during Operation Freedom Sentinel. He was 22, of San Antonio. As I alluded to a moment ago, he died July 3rd. It was a vehicle rollover accident in Farah, Afghanistan, while on patrol. He was assigned to 2nd Battalion, 22nd Infantry Regiment, 1st Infantry Brigade Combat Team, 10th Mountain Division, Fort Drum, New York, which is up in my neck of the woods, up in Andy's neck of the woods, up in upstate New York. Ibarria's awards, decorations include Service Medal, Global Award on Terrorism, Afghanistan Campaign with a Campaign Star, Army Achievement Medal, and the Army Service Ribbon. Army Specialist Ibarria, till Valhalla, we have the watch.
Love that segment. Love the segment. Very important. Very important to honor those that have fallen before us, that have sacrificed so much for our freedom, for this country.
Sir.
And we say it every week. It's the most difficult transition that we have, but the show must go on, and we got to build back up that
That
momentum.
energy back up, baby.
Yes, sir. And so with that comes our Heisman Stock Report, and this was a week of some Heisman shakeups, baby,
Shake up.
especially on your end.
Oh yeah.
Especially on your end. So let's just cut right to it. The Heisman Stock Report, number 5.
Yeah.
Desmond Ridder going from number 1 last week, and who's been at number 1 since the Notre Dame victory, drops all the way to number 5 for you. Explain yourself, Gary.
Yeah. I it's a tight win over Navy, and he didn't look real comfortable, didn't look real good in the game, and his stats kind of reflected that, right? I think he had 1 touchdown pass, he had a pick. I also think that Cincinnati's offensive approach right now is diverting a lot of the attention away from Ridder. Jerome Ford is a hell of a running back, and I think they ride him a bit, and they're going to continue to ride him as the season goes on, which I think is going to steal some of that shine from Ridder. But I think the big issue for me is this game has a cascading effect for both Cincinnati in the voters' eyes, but especially in the committee's eyes, but also with Ridder, not he hasn't really put up a ton of stats even since the Notre Dame game, but he has been directing that offense, making his team better, and I think that's been giving him a bit of that benefit of the doubt. This past week was really a big hit. And for me, this reflects not only my stock of where I think he racks and stacks, but also where I think the voters are going to put him.
Yeah, I agree with you. I mean, definitely ever since the Notre Dame game, he definitely hasn't been putting up the numbers like he has. And then obviously against Navy, you gotta win, and you gotta win in style. And obviously they did not do that. So I can see it, and I agree with you. I think the Heisman voters are gonna, have seen that, and especially that he's not in a Power 5 conference. That's gonna articulate to him being at the bottom pool of the Heisman hopefuls. So for my number 5, I have CJ Stroud dropped a spot for me from number 4 last week to number 5. Really, I mean, dude's been putting up some numbers lately. He's got that offense rolling. I mean, they're scoring over 50 points a game past 3 games. This will be a good test this weekend, though, against Penn State. I know Penn State has lost 2 straight. Their coach is not really, Penn State's coach, James Franklin's not really into it right now.
His head is not in the right place right now.
Yeah. So if he puts up another 50, I mean, watch out. I mean, I think he's already turned some heads, but I think if he has another big performance against Penn State, I think more heads are going to turn, and you're going to see him in that top 5, maybe even top 3 in the voters' minds.
Yeah, he's got some teeth cutting games coming up that he could really start to put some
Penn State, Michigan,
good film. Yeah,
Michigan State, yep, for sure.
He's got a chance to really start to propel himself near the top of the Heisman voters' attention.
Exactly. Moving on from number 5, we got number 4, Gary going with Kenny Pickett.
Yeah, man, our boy. Can't wait till you play the clip later. But look, he's doing everything that we expect him to do, and then some, leading that Pitt offense. The ACC is a little bit down this year, but Pitt's having a great year. And I just think he's starting to really garner that national attention, and for good reason.
Yep. I agree with you. My number 4 is Mr. Matt Corral in the Baby Blues. Really, he's starting to kind of get back on track. Really hasn't performed like we thought he would Because I think, early on we had him top 2, and even top 3 for the longest time. He's been in our top 3 for a long time, but he just hasn't performed up to, I think, his expectations and everyone else's expectations. So it'll be interesting to see how he keeps going throughout the season. And good game against Auburn can definitely propel you forward.
Yep.
So
He's got a chance this week.
yeah, going from number 4 to number 3, CJ Stroud for you there, buddy. I got
Yeah.
him at 5. You got him at 3.
Yeah. I'm big on right now
Our
what they're
5 and
doing.
3 guys have flip
Yeah,
flopped
they're
for both of
flip-flopping.
us.
Yep, for sure. I'm big on what they're doing right now, and I think the recency bias in the voters' eyes, we've seen it in the past, with some guys that finished the season very strong. He's putting up gaudy numbers. And I think that's the biggest difference right now is that offense is humming, and he's taking full advantage of what's going on, and he's putting up some just disgusting numbers.
Yeah. No, not a bad pick at all.
And I know it's against like inferior competition, and I think that might be why you have him a little lower than I do. But again, I think
Still,
this week is
I get
that
it.
chance that he can really, even with a Penn State team that's reeling a little bit, if he puts up big numbers this week, I think everybody's going to start to take notice.
Sure. Yep. I agree with you. I agree. I had Desmond Ritter there. And just for the fact of, you said it two picks ago, ever since the Notre Dame game, his numbers haven't been there. He hasn't looked comfortable. He definitely didn't look comfortable against Navy last week, and you need them style points. You're not a Power 5 player. You're not in a Power 5 conference. You need the style points for yourself for the Heisman and to get into the CFP. So it all plays a part of it. And so that's he went down from 1 to 5 for you, from 1 to 3 for me for that performance against Navy. So we'll see how he progresses throughout the rest of the season as well there. So number 3 going to number 2. Matt Corral for you, bud. Bryce Young for myself.
Yeah, I'm a little higher on Corral right now, and I'm aware. I think you made a good point, right? He's not putting up the gaudy numbers that we probably would expect from him, but I think
especially that offense too.
Yeah, for sure, that Lane Kiffin offense,
Yeah.
absolutely. But I think the fact that he plays in the SEC, he's going to get a lot of the kind of benefit of the doubt, or at least a little bit of. He's going to get a bump for that reason. So that's why I have him a little higher. For me, it is a little bit of that. Like SEC quarterbacks, I think, play against tougher defenses. And so when they put up good numbers, it's, it sticks out a little bit.
Yep. I have Bryce Young. Bryce Young's been at number 2 for me for probably about the past 3 weeks. He's consistent. He's a game manager for me. But the reason why he hasn't bumped up to number 1 or anything for me is he hasn't had, those CJ Stroud type games or, those big key plays that you're accustomed to seeing with some of these other quarterbacks. You're not seeing the 50, 70-yard touchdown passes, even though they're very capable. They're Alabama. You saw it last year with Mac Jones and Devontae Smith and everything else. So they have the weapons to do that, but it's more of a, an underneath passing that he's doing, not over the top passing. And so for me, he's been consistent all year round, or all year long, excuse me. And so that's why he's still at number 2 for me. If he can, pump up those numbers just a little bit, them are rookie numbers,
Mm-hmm.
Pump up those numbers a little bit, and he could very well be number 1 for me. So, which leads us to our number 1.
Yeah.
Heisman Stock Report. Bryce Young for you and Mr. Kenny Pickett for myself.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. I love what you got there. I'll go first and I'll get out of the way. Let you talk your boy up a little bit. Bryce, you mentioned it, right? He's just been steady.
Yeah.
And he's quietly putting up really good numbers.
Mm-hmm.
It's just
quietly,
It's just not flashy. The gaudy big plays that we are used to seeing from college quarterbacks.
Yeah.
He's just so steady. And for me, I think it's a little bit of fluctuation from different players. Pickett's on the rise for me, and other guys are on the way down. So I think Bryce Young has just been there the whole season, 2-3 for me. Mm-hmm. And I think just by the fact of the shuffle, I think he just moved up to first for me.
Yeah, no, I mean I can see it. It's one of those, as you were talking right there, the analogy of the hare and the tortoise.
Yeah.
He's that tortoise. He's slow, consistent, while everyone else is having, a big jump here and there, but in the end, the tortoise wins. So you might be onto something there. I got Mr. Kenny Pickett, and just for the fact of what he has done from last year to this year, and the interception, only one INT for the season, the completion percentage, he's making the throws. He's very consistent, very accurate. And just after his comment last week, that, you've mentioned it several times before, that big dick energy.
Oh, yeah.
And you gotta love it from your quarterback. That's your captain out there. He's bringing that energy and he's making the plays. Yes, I know the ACC's down this year. Clemson's down. You got Wake Forest, who, when was the last time you saw Wake Forest undefeated? Florida State's down. NC State's up there, but they just lost this last week. So it'll definitely be interesting to see how Pickett and Pat Narduzzi finish the season and see where they can go. But man, I love this kid. He's got good stature, good poise in the pocket. Doesn't have that big arm like you mentioned earlier, but can still make throws, and that's what I like about him. And I love that big dick energy. So that's why he's number one for me right now.
Absolutely, love it.
So with that big dick energy, we got to bring the big dick energy with our top plays. So let's get to the Tailgate Trash Talk top plays from week number 8. Oh, just tip it to myself.
Tip drill.
Tip.
That is so good. Concentration.
Justin Ross came here to have surgery done by one of the
Gary,
best in the country.
Yeah.
Do him here, bud. Look
Oh
at that.
my God! How the fuck do you do that? What a play defensively, but God, DJ is fucking terrible.
He got benched too. He got benched this game.
Yeah, about fucking 8 weeks too late.
Now he's coming just on a run blitz.
He's so bad.
He runs right into
Right
the
through
of the
it.
shuttle
Get it.
pass.
Look at it. How do you not see him? He's right in front of you. That play happens right in front of you. How do you not see it?
Oh my God.
He does that. I mean, he is around the football. He's a playmaker, and that was his big.
Commend them for that. 3rd and 1. Brooks this time spins off one. They get stopped. No, Williams took it out of his arms magically. What a play! Leaving the Jayhawks shocked in his wake.
How did Caleb Williams do that?
Unbelievable! You talk about a timely, intelligent play.
I still can't
Caleb Williams says, "I'll take that, thank you."
He says, "Hey, give me that right there."
And then
He takes it from him to get the first down on 4th and 1.
I apologize for the background noise in this. Had my kids in the background eating supper.
It's all good, baby. All good.
he had fresh legs, and that was something I think we were hoping for. He came in, did a heck of a job. You know, true freshman coming in this kind of stage, so, you know, hats off to him.
You said this would be a statement win for your program. What will this do for this Pitt program?
What does this mean?
Yeah, what does this mean for you guys?
I mean, it won't mean anything if we don't handle business these next couple of weeks. So, I mean, we're really going to enjoy this one. I'm going to go out with a cold one, and we'll get ready for Miami.
Love it.
We have a cold one to get ready for Miami.
Gonna go have a cold one. Quote of the season. Quote of the season right there. Mr. Gary Freese Sr., unbelievable, is right in regards to Caleb Williams taking the ball away.
What a heads-up play.
Very much so. Very much so. That's why Kenny Pickett is number one on my Heisman Stock Report right there. Big dick energy right there.
Yep.
Love it. Love it. All right. So we've gone through week 8 recap. We've gone through week 9 picks. We've done our salute to service. We've done our Heisman Stock Report. We've done our top plays. It leaves us with our last segment of the night, our Tailgating 101. Gary, take it away. What did you have this week?
Yeah, this is something I've always been infatuated with. It's traditions, right? What is the coolest tradition you've ever seen at tailgating? And
you said it again, tailgating.
Yeah,
it's
a northern New York, man. It's something above the Mason-Dixon line, I guess.
Tailgating.
Yeah. But yeah, so traditions, right? What's the top tradition you've ever experienced or seen at tailgating?
At tailgating.
Tailgating.
Okay.
So I'm gonna go away from the college game with this because it's something that's it's pretty near and dear to my heart.
Okay. All right. I have a feeling. I think I know where you're gonna go.
I think you know what I'm talking about.
Okay. All right. Go for it.
So, being from upstate New York and knowing how rowdy Bills fans can get, a few years ago they started a tradition where people either jump through a folding table or they throw other people through a folding table, including in one viral video, a man power bombed his girlfriend through a folding table.
What? How have I not seen this?
I will find it and I will send it to you in our chat.
Thank you.
So, yeah, so that level of energy at a tailgate, I had to go there. I know we talk college football mostly here, but for me, that's the pinnacle of a tailgate tradition. When you're at the point where your girlfriend volunteers to be power bombed.
No kidding. That's when you know she's the one.
Oh, that's you marry her on the spot.
You marry that girl on the spot. Like after
find the closest ordained minister and marry her.
Yeah. You should actually have one there.
Yes.
So after you power bomb her, that you can just get married right then and there.
That's how you christen the marriage.
Wow. Yeah, I need to see this video. I have not seen it. And I'm a big fan of, going through tables. Yep. Like I almost did it last year if the Bills would have won. I bet myself on that one and didn't happen, unfortunately. But I would have done it. I'm not gonna shy away from a bet that I made myself. But no, that is a good one. That is a good one. So for me, tailgating traditions, I've only been to a few college games and basically then Nebraska games. Been to a few D2 games when lived in Kansas, Pitt State, and then going to the Pitt State Northwestern. Those were always big games, big rivalry games between those two schools. My uncle actually went to Northwestern. My wife went to Pitt State, so they always have some good banter back and forth. Been to a couple NFL games. But for me, the traditions for me, and we've touched base on it almost every episode about friends, family, food, stuff like that. And really for me, it's just the friendship, the family that you create, at these tailgates. You have your so-called core group of tailgaters that are pretty much with you week in, week out, tailgating at whenever, you go to a tailgate at the home game. But then it's also like, just showing the opposing team's fans, the hospitality, as they're walking by. And one thing, and this is, I guess I could go, this is college football, but it's going to college baseball here. And one of the main things, and if you guys have not ever been, I highly, highly recommend going. It is a different atmosphere now that they've moved. When it was over by the Henry Dorley Zoo, when it was down in that area, it was a completely different atmosphere than it is now. But still, it's one of the best atmospheres. And the one college team that I always love seeing there, can you guess, Gary?
I don't know that I have a guess. Maybe UCSB. They got the
LSU.
LSU. Okay.
LSU fans are some of the nicest people when it comes to tailgating. They pack their RVs. They're doing shrimp boils. They're doing bodine. They're doing like all of this, Louisiana Cajun food, Creole food.
That's awesome.
And they are some of the nicest people. I just remember walking around Rosenblatt Stadium with my parents, my family, when we were going to some games, and just you don't know them, and they're offering you food. Oh, here, have some food. Here, have some beads. Some purple and gold beads. And it's just one of those.
It's always Mardi Gras.
Always Mardi Gras for them. Always Mardi Gras. So Gary Freed Jello shots on the way to
it. Got to prime the engine.
There you go. I like it. So it's that family, that friendship atmosphere for a tradition for me. Whenever we threw a tailgate, when we had our camper, we'd just invite all of our friends and invite whoever. That's the thing. We always had extra food, so whoever walked by, we had the TVs going, we had the beer flowing. Come on by, have some food, have some drinks. We don't care who you are. It's just that it's something about tailgates that bring me together and someone from the other side of the world, that we can just all come together on a certain day and just enjoy each other's companies. And we may be going against each other on the field or whatever, but that's the tradition that I like about tailgating.
That's awesome.
So
that's great. Yeah. Some teams definitely travel better than others, but the College World Series, some of the things that I'm sure families travel and bring along with them in terms of those traditions, right? Is it cooking food? Is it soul food like you get with Louisiana, some of that Creole, that Creole flavor? But that's pretty cool, man.
Yeah. So if you have never been, highly recommend going to the College World Series in Omaha, Nebraska. One of the best experiences, especially if you have young kids and young boys that are playing baseball, or even girls playing softball. Like, there's so many activities for the little kids to do. Obviously there's bars right there for the grown-ups to go to, but just that atmosphere around the stadium, around that whole area. And like I said, it's different than it was 10 years ago when it was over by Henry Dorley, because you had about 2 to 3 miles of just a street lined up of campers, you had homes along the street that were vacant all throughout the year, and then they'd opened up for Omaha or
That's
for the
cool,
College
man.
World Series, and you had bars in these homes. You had beer gardens, blah blah
Awesome.
blah. But you just had all these people tailgating out in these yards, and it was electric. It was one of the best experiences of my life. One of the highlights of my life growing up with my family. So
That's great.
definitely a bucket list for anyone out there for sure.
Absolutely.
So, all right. With that being said, that was our last segment of the night. Gary, when are we going to the College Football Committee? They drop their CFP rankings next Tuesday. When would you like to drop our rankings? You want to do it before? You want to do it after?
I say we get a show on the books for Monday.
All right. Do a
I
little.
say we do it. Do a live reveal.
Live reveal.
Yeah, I like it.
Well, Monday night, 9 p.m. Maybe half hour, 45-minute special. Just do
Yeah,
All right.
absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
and then we'll do our regular show next Wednesday as well. So we'll do a special episode, college football playoff reveal next Monday, 9 p.m. We'll get that one on the books, and then we'll do our regular scheduled episode next Wednesday at 9 p.m. as well. So
Excellent. You get
with
double
that,
dip.
yeah, love it. With that being said, Gary, thank you again for joining tonight. Greatly appreciate it. Always bringing that big dick energy all the way there from Virginia. Yeah. Love it, bud.
Yeah, buddy. Thank
love
you.
It.
Great
Thank
show.
you. Love the new gear that you got there.
Hell
love
yeah.
it.
Get yourself some out there.
Yeah.
BackyardSportsMedia.shop.
Love it. Love it. So without further ado, thank you guys again for joining, commenting, listening, wherever you're listening, wherever the fuck you're watching. We don't care. We just love the support. We appreciate it. We thank you. And God bless. And we will see you Monday for a special college football playoff reveal. Thanks, guys.